the Bruins beat the Flyers. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Busch Beer. Remember, when the action gets hot, cool off in the cold, refreshing mountains of Busch Beer. And by your New England Dodge dealers, the home of one-stop car shopping and one-stop car convenience. This year, Dodge is all of the above. Hi, everybody. Fred Cusick along with Johnny Pearson and Tom Larson with highlights and features. And John, the Philadelphia Flyers, new coach, some changes. They're having kind of a rough time for Philadelphia.
Well, they're not off to a very good start, Fred, but they're on a rebuilding program under the new coach. And one of their big problems has been their inability to score goals. They've only scored 27 goals in 11 games, which is not too good when you consider steady winning in the National Hockey League. But they've added 3 top draft picks in the first round. One of them, Ben Wilson, wearing number 3 for the Philadelphia Flyers, has been very impressive to a lot of people in the National Hockey League at this young stage. 6'3", he's 215 pounds, a big, strong youngster, very intelligent player, and they say he plays his position extremely well, has added some offense as well, and that's... And here comes Wensink, and I think he fell over Daly, or the goaltender, I guess it was, right there, and it's like he fell on that left knee.
Face off, and it goes to Wilson, around the boards to Holmgren. Ben Wilson, a 19-year-older on defense. Middleton keeps it in, and Boston's forechecking. Now Jimmy Watson, brother Joe, has gone to Colorado. Changes in the Philadelphia Flyers. A lead pass up the left side. Bridgman hustles with O'Brien. And Bridgman gets it. And Wilson keeps it in behind the net to Bridgman to McLeish. The shot blocked by O'Brien. Bridgman again. Around the boards to Holmgren. Holmgren centers it. It's knocked away. Bridgman keeps it in. A penalty coming up on Boston. And the Bruins will be shorthanded. Bob Miller is going out. From Boston Garden, you're watching Bruins hockey.
Steve Grogan draws a crowd wherever he goes. Is it his looks, his personality, his charisma? No! It's his 1979 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. Look at those lines, the close attention to detail. And the 1979 Cutlass Supreme drives even better than it looks. So drive the 1979 Cutlass Supreme.
Hey, mister! That's Steve Grogan's car.
And draw a crowd of your own at your New England Oldsmobile dealer.
A 2-minute penalty for cross-checking on Al Sims at 1:43 of the first period. He and Bob Miller were right there as Bridgman tried to do some forechecking.
Puck is cleared. Ben Wilson, the 19-year-old number 1 draft pick, one of them for Philadelphia, gets it off to Bridgman, and it's played in. O'Brien on it, trying to come out. Check. It rolls to Rick Smith, taps it up and outside the line. O'Brien getting it, though. The Bruins trying to work it out. Delayed call, and they clear it away. Barber playing the left point. Wilson, the other point, and Boston shorthanded. McLeish back to Wilson. Wilson over the line. Goes for the shot wide. And the rebound, Middleton clears it out as he's knocked down, and a penalty on Philadelphia. Delayed call, and the Flyers will be shorthanded. And going out is Holmgren. We're in the first period with the score Boston nothing and Philadelphia nothing.
As Congressman, Paul Tsongas has done a lot for Massachusetts, for our economy, for our cities, for our families. And Paul Tsongas has made new ideas work because the old government solutions haven't worked.
I've tried to tell you what I've done, because that's the only way I can ask you to have faith in me as your senator.
Paul Tsongas, a new leader for Massachusetts.
With 44 seconds gone in Al Sims' penalty, Paul Holmgren gets a hooking call right here as he hooks down Middleton, who was making a great effort to get the puck out into center ice as the Bruins were making an effort to kill the penalty to Sims, and now so both teams will have a man in the penalty box.
Face off to Philadelphia. No score in the game, and breaking out Bridgman. He's still on with McLeish, and he scores! A long shot. Broke off the stick of Gilbert and into the net. A long drive by Mel Bridgman, a soft one, and Gilbert's stick was not positioned correctly. It broke off it and in the net for a 1-0 Philadelphia lead.
Now this long centering pass into the Boston end by Bridgman, I think, hit the heel of Gilbert's stick. You watch it now. I think it caroms off the heel right there and just goes in. It was going to miss the net, and Gilbert directed it in front.
Bridgman right back to drive it in wide. Daly a shot. Gilbert the save. And the puck now to Rattel. A long shot by Bridgman and a quick 1-0 lead as Gilbert fanned on it. Out comes Milbury, clearing it in. Wide of Stevenson. Milbury keeps it in. Back to Doak. Doak fires. Rolls in front. Bounces to Milbury. The shot hit the side of the net as Milbury went on the attack. And out comes McLeish. McLeish is hit. Check. Keeps the puck. Lost it again. Finally, it's batted around, and Milbury takes it. But a 1-0 lead. The goal, Bridgman from Daly. The long shot missed by Gilbert. The kind that hurt. Puck cleared in, and this is icing on Boston. In 19 seconds, they will have the man advantage as each team short a man right now. But Philadelphia with a 1-0 lead on the goal by Mel Bridgman. Bridgman from Daly at 2:36. And for Bridgman, his second goal of the year. A real gift from Gilbert. He just had that stick at the wrong angle, considering the way the shot came in.
Well, the shot was going to miss the net to the right of Gilbert, and what he was trying to do was stop it so that his own player, while coming back, could pick up the puck when it was stationary. And it looked like it hit the heel of his stick and just caromed into the corner.
Rick Smith, O'Reilly started out. Barber and Clark on for Philadelphia. McNabb, O'Reilly, Smith, and O'Brien. Barber checking. Now O'Brien. Long one up for McNabb. Gets it over the line. Good play by McNabb. Fires in. Power play Boston now. O'Brien trying to keep it in. Kicks it free, but it bounces to Jimmy Watson, and Watson carries. Takes a hit from O'Reilly, but moves it in deep and fires one that misses. On the right side, Wilson broken up by Cashman, but it goes to Clark. Now O'Reilly center ice. Over the line. Off from McNabb. McNabb broken up by Clark, and Clark clears. 19 seconds left on the penalty to Holmgren, and 15:48 left in the first period. A 1-0 lead for Philadelphia. Out comes O'Brien. A shot caught in the pads of DuPont, and a whistle for a faceoff just inside the Philadelphia line. 6 seconds left on that Paul Holmgren penalty as we look at Andre DuPont, the veteran defenseman for Philadelphia. Don Cherry with his team behind now, 1-0. McNabb, a hot hand in scoring, centering O'Reilly and Cashman with Smith and Doak. Doak, he's had a couple of shots on. That one went wide from center ice. Cashman breaks up Daly. Full strength. Philadelphia. Bridgman in the corner, battling. And it's out to Doak from Cashman. He has to maneuver to keep it in, and his shot is deflected and goes into the stands at a face-off call to the left of Stevenson. The referee, John McCauley, the linesman, John D'Amico and Claude Bayshard, and Bridgman scoring a goal on a long shot. A 1-0 Flyer lead. Bridgman is centering Holmgren and McLeish. The draw to Rick Smith. Screen shot. It's wide. DuPont bangs it around. And Philadelphia works it out. Holmgren breaking with Bridgman. Puck cleared in. Gilbert out. Stops it. Trying to clear it. Stopped by Bridgman. And Gilbert knocked down by Holmgren. He gets up. The puck now to McLeish. And O'Reilly jams Holmgren and is down. Now gets up. Gets atop Holmgren, and a wild scene. Terry O'Reilly and Paul Holmgren really going at it. Gilbert was knocked down in the battle behind the net.
I think Gilbert is going to get a 2-minute penalty for slashing Holmgren. He took a stick to him, and we'll see what further penalties are coming up. But I think the Bruins will at least get the Gilbert call.
Now Holmgren and O'Reilly, a real battle. O'Reilly went down. Holmgren pounded him, and quickly O'Reilly turned it around, and then the linesman moved in, and they're still having a problem separating two tough competitors. Paul Holmgren, a St. Paul, Minnesota native, and Terry O'Reilly. And McCauley saying something to O'Reilly as they're separated. You're watching Boston Bruins hockey from Boston Garden.
Oh, man, it's cold, it's foggy, it's...
Romantic.
Oh, yeah?
Come on, we're not gonna let all this great chicken and beer go to waste.
Sorry about the rain.
That's okay. I freckle in the sun.
I really wanted today to be beautiful.
It is.
Don't just reach for a beer. Head for the mountains. Bush.
Well, the action hot and heavy in the early going here at the Boston Garden, the Bruins and the Flyers, and that's not unusual. Here's the play developing. O'Reilly moves into Holmgren in the corner, and that was after, I believe, Gilbert got caught it behind the net. Holmgren bumped into him, knocked him down. And as he managed to come back into his front of his net into the goal crease, he took the stick and swung it at Holmgren. Gilbert. Gilbert is drawing a 2-minute minor penalty. I don't know if it's roughing or slashing or what it is, but he took the stick to Holmgren as he started to move back into the front of his net, and then the ensuing action, O'Reilly and Holmgren went at it and drew 5-minute penalties for fighting.
So Cashman in the penalty box with O'Reilly, serving the 2-minute penalty to Gilbert. A power play for Philadelphia. They lead 1-0, 14:57 left in the first period. Clark, McLeish, Leach with Daly and Barber. Bob McCammon, the new coach of Philadelphia, coached the Maine Mariners last year, and Daly gets it on the draw. Over to Barber, left point. Outside the line on the pass. Marcotte, Middleton for Boston, Smith and Doak. Boston short. Power play Philadelphia. And Barber trying to move it out to Clark. Over to Leach. Leach checked by Rick Smith. Works it free, loses to Middleton. Middleton stick handling and clearing it. 1:30 left on the penalty, being served by Cashman. Gilbert got the 2 minutes. A lead pass for Clark. Clark over the line, checked. Puck kept in, broken up. Marcotte does and clears it. 9 power play goals for Philadelphia. Percentage of about 21%. The Bridgman goal was not a power play goal. Both teams were short a man when that was scored. Clark over the line, left wing. Now to McLeish. McLeish moves it in, fires across and misses. Tried a shot on net. Barber, a drive, a save Gilbert, as that was on net from the left point. Now it deflects in front. Middleton can't clear. Rick Smith able to just poke it outside the line. Marcotte scraps for it and clears it down. 32 seconds left on the penalty. O'Brien, Schmatz coming out. Smith still out there. Marcotte. They're forechecking. And back now comes Philadelphia. A lead pass for Dean. Dean with Collender. Checked, but keeps it in the corner. Checked by Rick Smith all the way. Broken up by Schmatz. Kept in Bridgman. Bridgman with Collender. A pass now to the point man, Wilson. Fed in, blocked. Wilson back right point, has it again. Now to Collender. Shot. Deflected wide. Full strength Boston, but the puck kept in. LaPointe. Shot. And deflected wide as Cashman back to dig it out, and Marcotte clears. Full strength the Bruins. LaPointe holding it. Boston killed off the penalty. LaPointe fires in. Gilbert trying to clear it. Bridgman over there to block it. Up the boards to Collender with Dean in front. Dean checked by O'Brien. Schmatz taps it out of the zone. Bruins trying to organize now after killing off the penalty. Wilson holds it. Interception. Schmatz clearing in wide of Stevenson. 12:20 left first period. 1-0 Philadelphia. Wilson knocked down on the play. Puck cleared out center ice. With it, Secord. Now Sims for Jonathan. Broken out. O'Brien over the line. O'Brien trying to move in. Held off. Jonathan keeps it in. Jonathan checked. Battles. Secord there. And Philadelphia gets it. Bridgman working it out. Play broken up. Secord right back with Miller and Jonathan. A shot wide. Rebound. Jonathan trying to make a play in front. Knock, block. Keeps it. Now to Miller. Miller in front. Tried the short side, and Stevenson made the stop. Miller trying to center it. Can't. And a penalty coming up on Wilson. With the score, Philadelphia 1 and Boston 0. Let's pause for this message.
Number 1 from Boston to the south. That's Delta Airlines. Delta has the most flights to Atlanta, the most flight times to New Orleans, the most through jets to Houston. And Delta has more going for you to Florida's resort cities, the most nonstops to Miami and to Tampa St. Pete, the only nonstops to Fort Lauderdale. Make your winter reservations to Florida now. Call Delta or your travel agent. Delta is ready when you are.
A busy first period for the referee, John McCauley. Number 3, Ben Wilson, the rookie, gets a high sticking and call right here on Secord in front of the net. And at 8:23, the Bruins will have the man advantage.
McNabb with Cashman and Middleton, Foster and Schmatz. Back to Foster. Over to Schmatz. Back for Foster. Schmatz. Shot. Blocked. Bounces. Cashman with it. And Foster had backed off the line, tried to keep it in and couldn't. Face off outside the Philadelphia line. Barber and Clark. DuPont and Daly for Philadelphia. Roy Schneider. On the face-off now. Daly clears. Boston with 5 forwards on the power play, trailing 1-0. Schmatz trying to come out. Foster starts it away. In the center ice. Cashman touched it. He should have let Schmatz handle it. Schmatz was onside, Cashman offside, and so the face-off called. But there's the puck, and you can't look at it too long, and so natural instinct is to touch it.
Cashman had to have reached back for it a little sooner. He would have been onside, but the fact that he went across the center ice red line without touching it made the play offside. If that puck precedes you across the red line at center, then you can pick it up anywhere. But if you go first and the puck comes later, if it's inside your own blue line, then it's offside.
Dwight Foster. Checked by Barber. Barber lost it to Middleton. Now Foster trying to come out. McNabb with it. Over the line, gets by, moves in, and the shot is blocked by Daly. Pops into the corner where Cashman back for Foster. Foster a shot just wide. Cashman couldn't tip it home, tried to. Schmatz into Cashman. Cashman back for Schmatz. Over to Foster. In for McNabb. McNabb a shot, save, puck free, missed by Cashman on the backhand. Behind the net, Middleton. Middleton around the boards. Cashman back to Schmatz. Schmatz fires, deflected high. Rebound, DuPont trying to clear. Foster kept it in, knocked away by Barber. Barber broken up by Schmatz. Schmatz over the line. Off now for Middleton. Middleton a shot, save, Stevenson around the board. Foster couldn't keep it in. Play broken up by Bridgman. Bridgman may break in. Missed on the backhand as Gilbert went down on that break-in by Mel Bridgman as Foster was caught. And Foster shaken up now near the Boston net. And timeout for the Boston rookie Foster, who is playing the point on the power play. And Boston had pretty good action going there in the Philadelphia end.
Well, a pretty good move by young Mel Bridgman, wearing number 10 for the Flyers. Look at him use that right leg to block Foster out of the play. If he'd held that puck just a little bit longer, he might have been able to tuck it in behind Gilbert, but it seemed to slip off his stick and go wide, as you saw. Foster crashed into that far goalpost in the action. He seems to be all right over at the Boston bench.
Rattel, Marcotte, Wensink, still a power play. Out comes Milbury from Marcotte, right wing over the line. Off in front. It's broken up, and McLeish breaks. O'Brien trying to get back on him. Marcotte hustles back. McLeish shot. Saves Gilbert. Good bid. Puck off for Marcotte. Full strength Philadelphia. They lead 1-0. Rattel trying to break it out. Now Milbury. His pass up, stopped by Lapointe. Lapointe gets by O'Brien. Drive, saves Gilbert. And Milbury knocked Lapointe down. Drive here, saves Gilbert on a hard drive from the right point. Lapointe keeps it in. Milbury a hard check a moment ago. A pass goes over in front with it. Wensink can't move it out. McLeish with it. A pass blocked. Penalty coming up on Boston. Delayed call. It's on Milbury. Puck kept in by Holmgren. Bruins running around at this juncture. And now they get possession. And Milbury is going out. From the Boston Garden, the score, Philadelphia 1 and Boston 0.
There's a new excitement in small cars, AMC's new Spirit DL.
Let the Spirit move you. Let the Spirit move you.
Let the Spirit move you to beautiful style. Let the Spirit move you to a beautiful ride.
Let the Spirit move you. Let the Spirit move you.
Sporty looks, corduroy bucket seats, and a sleek instrument panel. American Motors has the Spirit.
Let the Spirit move you.
Mike Milbury off for boarding at 11:07. He took Rick Lapointe up against the boards after Rick made a fine shift on Dennis O'Brien at the Boston blue line, but Milbury very quick and alert to cut across in behind, pick him up, and he crashed him into the boards in the corner, and he's off at 11:07. So the Flyers, having just finished with a penalty killing situation, now will go on the offense with the power play.
And the Flyers lead 1-0 on a goal by Bridgman as we look at Bob McCammon, who Coach of the Year, American Hockey League, Maine Mariners last year, and rookie in the National Hockey League at age 37. Has Clark, Leach, along with Dean. The Bruins get the draw, and O'Brien clears. Barry Dean is at left wing. Wilson, the rookie, is the right point man, and Barber the left point. 4 forwards. As Wilson starts it away, Marcotte checks him very smartly. Now Barber with it. Driving in, but Leach was offside. Let's pause now. 5 seconds for station identification. This is the TV 38 Bruins Network.
This is TV 38, WSBK TV, Boston.
Fred Cusick, Johnny Pearson, Tom Larson with his highlights and features. The Bruins and the Flyers, and the Flyers lead 1-0, 8:31 left first period, and the Flyers with a power play. Milbury out for board checking. At center ice, Marcotte breaks it up, lead pass, Middleton over the line, just ruled offside. The Bruins have some shorthanded goals this year, and they're alert for it with Middleton right there. The threat, he can move with some open ice.
Oh, Marcotte and Middleton have proven to be extremely strong penalty killers, but the Flyers, though they have had a lot of penalties, they've had 63 times shorthanded, lead the National Hockey League in shorthanded goals with 4. Boston has 2. Both of them have been scored by Don Marcotte.
Marcotte, Middleton, Sims, and O'Brien. Wilson, Leach. Leach winding up. Now to Bill Barber. Works it into Clark. To Wilson. Back in deep to Leach in the corner. Wheeling. Shooting. Blocked. But it deflects to Barber. Heavy action in front. Wilson now to Clark. In for Leach. Dean trying to screen in front. And he is. And the shot. Save. And the puck cleared by O'Brien. A big play. And Middleton trying to drive it out. Does. Dean jamming in front. But Gilbert made the block. 47 seconds left on the power play as Barber rushes. For Dean. In the Clark. Clark keeps it all the way around. Back in front. Drops it for Wilson. The shot deflected wide. Bruins trying to clear. Jonathan, a penalty killer. Wilson in front. Over to Clark. Clark. Wilson. Shot. Scores! Screen shot might have been deflected home. As Ben Wilson drove it, Holmgren was screening in front. Power play goal, Holmgren, for a 2-0 Philadelphia lead.
Well, the drive as the Flyers pass the puck very nicely here. This is Wilson with a drive, but I believe Holmgren will get credit for the goal. Watch it hit him on the leg somewhere right there. Change direction. I think the shot probably was going to miss that far corner. But Holmgren standing in front to try to block out Gilbert's view. The puck caromed off his leg. And at 12:48, it's 2-0 Flyers.
So with 7:12 left in the first period, it's a 2-0 lead for Philadelphia. And now they're using Hoyda, Evans, and Kelly. They have not played to this point. Hoyda with it over the line. A shot right on. Save. Gilbert trying to clear it off. And out comes Miller now with Secord. Miller clears it in. He's hit by Kelly and knocked down. Kelly, check. Around the boards. Rick Smith can't keep it in. The Flyers fire it out. They've got a heavy checking line out there now. Here's Secord. Up for Rick Smith. To O'Reilly. O'Reilly with Miller. Takes a hit from DuPont and loses the puck. And Jimmy Watton clears it away. Doak over to Rick Smith now. Up to O'Reilly again on the move. In for Secord. O'Reilly goes in to get it himself to Secord. Secord hit by Evans. And Kelly works it out to Hoyda. Hoyda checked by Doak. And back for Rick Smith. Around the boards, Kelly losing. But it goes to Hoyda. Hoyda right in. Score by Evans, his first. Evans gets the goal from Hoyda and a 3-0 Philadelphia lead as Evans was all alone in front, set up by Hoyda.
Well, good forechecking by the Philadelphia Flyers as they have applied some pressure on the Bruins. And you see Evans pick up that centering pass by Hoyda. He blocked out the Bruins defenseman with his body and just touched it home in behind Gilbert. And it's 3-0 Philadelphia. The goal comes at 13:55 of the first period. Evans and Hoyda will get an assist.
Well, Bob McCammon set out the checking line, and it paid off in a goal. Evans getting it from Hoyda. Now Murray on defense. Clears it around the boards, and the Flyers work it out again. They've got a 3-0 lead on the Bruins. Into the corner, Holmgren. Centering pass. Backhand to McLeish over the net. He had a great setup. And now Gilbert ties it up near the net as the Flyers continue their pressure. And here's Wensink and Holmgren. Quickly moving in, Wensink, D'Amico. Wensink and Holmgren have squared off. And they're both going out. And McCauley saying something.
Well, a hard hit here in the corner. Al Sims moved in, got a good check along with Wensink on Holmgren. And Gilbert had to make an acrobatic save with that stick, but the action continued as Wensink and Holmgren paired off.
Bruins hockey is coming to you live from Boston Garden.
Announcing me. New Mobile Super Unleaded Gasoline. Why, I got higher octane. I mean, I fight knocks. I fight pings. I tell you, I'm so great, I'm also replacing Mobile Premium.
Hey, baby, what's happening in the car world?
Oh, Mobile. They have a new super unleaded gasoline.
A roughing call against Paul Holmgren of the Philadelphia Flyers at 14:17 of the first period as the Flyers lead 3-0 on goals by Bridgman, Holmgren, and Evans. The last one, Evans' first goal of the season. Hoyda, the assist, came at 13:55 of the first period. Boston will now have the power play.
McNabb, Wensink, O'Reilly. McNabb clears it in. O'Reilly over the line. Right in front, but it goes wide. Clark, a good backhand flip, gets it out of the zone. Milbury, the left point. Schmatz, the right point. Milbury carries up. Over the line with O'Reilly. To O'Reilly. O'Reilly checked. Knocked down. McNabb gets it to Schmatz. Schmatz moving in. Fires. Save. Rebound. Wensink can't get it. Centered by O'Reilly over to Milbury. Another drive. Wide. O'Reilly with it in the corner. Back to Milbury. Fed back in. Wensink after it is broken up by Wilson. Now Jimmy Watson trying to clear. Check. Kept in by Schmatz and O'Reilly. Schmatz in front. Wensink can't get the play. Milbury keeps it in. Wilson trying to clear. Around the boards he does. A minute left on the penalty. Power play for Boston. And they need a goal badly. Trailing 3-0 first period. Schmatz starts it back. Up the left side he carries. He's broken up. Marcotte lost it. McLeish in a race with Rattel, gets the shot away and scores on the rebound. And McLeish gets a shorthanded goal to make it 4-0 for Philadelphia.
Well, the Flyers, who up to now have had a problem scoring goals, do not find it so here tonight at the Boston Garden. Especially here in the first period, they have counted their 4th goal. And here's McLeish with a great effort. Watch him pick up his own rebound. Rattel tried to block him out of the play, couldn't do it, and then he just slid that little short shot underneath. Outstretched Gilbert, making an effort to grab it, couldn't do it. And an unassisted goal by McLeish, also shorthanded, puts the Flyers out in front 4-0.
And now 40 seconds left on the penalty. The Bruins even more desperate for a goal. Middleton fires, save. Stevenson, a beauty. And the puck is cleared by Philadelphia's Bridgman. The Flyers leading 4-0, 4:07 left first period. Rattel starts it back with Schmatz. Fed in wide of Stevenson. Daly and Milbury after it. Bumped around the corner. Middleton and Rattel to Middleton. Trying to center it. He's hit. In the corner goes Milbury. Milbury back to Marcotte left point. Holding. Schmatz right point. Fires. Blocked. On it again. It's cleared by McLeish, who just scored a shorthanded goal, and the penalty is up. And Clark with it at center ice. And with it, Barber now. And Schmatz trying to get the play going. Barber and Clark keep it in. Hard hit Schmatz on Barber. Hard hit by Miller. But the Flyers get it free. Clark with it. Wheels in front, and he's blocked. Clark knocked down. Penalty on Rick Smith. Rick Smith going out for holding. And the Bruins will be shorthanded again as they are down 4-0. Rick Smith tied up Clark, and it is Rick Smith going out for holding with 3:07 left.
Well, a tough forechecker, Bobby Clark, as Rick Smith wraps his arms around him, trying to contain him behind the net. And the referee, John McCauley, assesses Rick Smith a 2-minute holding and call at 16:53 of the first period, as the Flyers will have another power play opportunity. They have scored a power play goal, that by Holmgren at 12:48, and they've also scored a shorthanded goal, that by Rick McLeish, unassisted.
Face-off now in the Boston zone, and Boston shorthanded. Philadelphia with a power play and a shorthanded goal in the 4 that they have scored. Puck is back to LaPointe. Fed in. Sims checked by Barber. Round of Leach. Now to Barber. This is all behind the net, though. Nobody in front. Now Leach works in front and scores. Reg Leach fires from a tough angle and gets a power play goal to make it 5-0. The second power play goal of the night for Philadelphia.
Well, it's just a night for the Philadelphia Flyers, and they're shooting peas at Gilbert. This one slipped right between his pads as Reggie Leach pulled the trigger from that right wing side on a pass from behind the net by Bobby Clark. And at 17 minutes and 9 seconds into the first period, it's 5-0 Flyers.
A period that Boston wants to forget, and it's not over yet with 2:45 left. Secord knocked down Wilson. But the Flyers work it in. They've got their checking line out there now. Callender, Evans, who scored a goal. His pass broken up, and out comes Cashman with Secord and Foster. 3-on-2, they've got it. The shot in on Stevenson. Drops it off, clears it in the corner. Foster, Cashman trying to get it, can't. Back to O'Brien, he can't keep it inside the line. And Sims now to Foster, but he lost it. And Callender is onside, keeps it in. Foster trying to work it out as the Flyers have dominated. Sims trying to come out. Spilled. Secord ties it up. A face-off called. 1:59 left here. In our first intermission tonight, we'll have sports test and mini one-on-one bantam competition with Needham meeting Springfield. Then Johnny Pearson and I will have an analysis of the first period of tonight's game, and that's all coming up between periods, so stay with us. Philadelphia leads 5-0. 2 power play goals, a shorthanded goal, and domination here. Wensing out to McNabb with O'Reilly, a break. McNabb over the line. The shot hit the post. Broke through the glove of Stevenson and hit the post. Wensing trying to keep it in. Can't. He ready to battle Wilson. Here they go. Ben Wilson, the rookie, and John Wensing. A good battle. Oh, some heavy hits by Wensing. Wilson trying to get back. John Wensing and Ben Wilson. Heavy, heavy hitting there.
Wensing crashed Wilson into the boards about midway between the net and the blue line, right on the Philadelphia side of the bench. And he just went right back and moved over to Wensing. And I must imagine he just said, you want to go? You might as well do it now. They both dropped their gloves and away they went. But the Flyers on the scoreboard out in front 5-0 on goals by Bridgman, Holmgren, Evans, McLeish, and Leach in that order. The last two, McLeish unassisted, 15:34 was a shorthanded goal. Then the Flyers came back on the power play. Leach, his third of the season from Clark and Barber at 17:04. Their 11th power play goal of the season, and now we'll have the penalties coming up.
Five minutes each for fighting, 1:32 left, and there is Ben Wilson. You spell it B-E-H-N. 19 years old. Here's McNabb with a scoring bid.
Great shot here by Peter McNabb, who had O'Reilly. He could have dropped it back to him, but he elected to shoot, and he really got good leverage on this one. It winged by Stevenson and watched the crossbar in the post. Hit the crossbar first, down to the post. That's how close it came to going in. On the underside of the crossbar, went down, hit the post, came back out, but that's been the Bruins' luck here so far in this hockey game.
Teams at full strength. O'Reilly and McNabb trying to make a play. Get it back to Doak. Doak clears it in. Driven up to Bridgman by Philadelphia, and Holmgren starts it back and clears in the Boston end. 1:19 left. Bridgman keeps it in. And O'Reilly in the corner. O'Reilly lost it. Bridgman works it in front. A clean shot blocked, and another fight going on. Terry O'Reilly is battling Holmgren again. And they both go down. Holmgren and O'Reilly. O'Reilly on top. They had the earlier fight, of course. And this is Philadelphia Boston of the old days. The Bruins, of course, totally frustrated, but regardless of the fights, the Flyers have a 5-goal lead.
Well, the problem here, Fred, is this is not hockey. It's something other than that. And although the Bruins are down 5-0 and they've had some bad breaks here in the first period, they want to get back into this hockey game. It's putting the puck behind Stevenson, really, that counts. And we're going to have further penalties here. How this will be assessed by the referee, I'm not sure. Holmgren and O'Reilly have been at it all period long. They had a 5-minute fighting infraction at 5:03. Holmgren got a roughing penalty at 14:17 when he and Winsink looked like they were going to go at it. So he has been very much involved in
Tough
what has
job
been
here
going
for
on.
Bayshard and D'Amico. D'Amico finally able to pull off O'Reilly. But other players are in there now. Secord and McNabb. Doak. This looks like one of those tug-of-wars. Somebody's got Holmgren, or Holmgren's got somebody.
There's a Bruin down on the ice. I'm not sure.
It's not Holmgren.
It's Al Secord standing up.
Milbury and Bridgman. Bridgman has him in a leg hold. Finally, they're broken up. And Bridgman pushes Milbury. Milbury and Bridgman. And Bridgman is a very good fighter. And down goes Milbury. Trying to get up, and Bridgman is all over him, pounding away. They're kind of just wrestling now, and McCauley has to move in on it. So the game almost totally out of hand now, with Bayshard holding off Holmgren and D'Amico holding off O'Reilly. But Milbury did not fare well with Mel Bridgman. With 1:06 left here in the first period.
Well, to say the least, it's obvious that this thing has gotten out of hand. The referee, John McCauley, has got to assess some kind of major penalties here in order to get this thing back on track.
O'Reilly is out, Holmgren is out. They're both out of the game.
It looks like O'Reilly and Holmgren will be through for the night, but McCauley is now moving to the penalty box or to the bench. And Holmgren is going to be tossed out for the rest of the game, as will Terry O'Reilly. And the battle will probably go on, I would imagine. And the Flyers, looking up at the scoreboard, are ahead 5-0. At 2:36, Bridgman scored. At 12:48, Holmgren scored. 13:55, it was Evans. 15:34, McLeish scored a shorthanded goal unassisted. And Leach chipped in with a power play goal at 17:04. And with 1:06 left to play here in the first period, we've got a delay, as you can see. But here's the start of what was this battle royal, which is not hockey. There's 26 is Milbury. That's O'Reilly. 24. Bridgman is 10. And there it is right there in the corner. And they dropped their gloves and away they went. We have peace restored, at least for the moment. But O'Reilly and Holmgren are through for the night. Whatever penalties are assessed will be assessed at 18 minutes and 54 seconds of the first period. I need a new sheet for the penalties in the first period, Fred.
Well, John McCauley, the best, has had it's out of hand, but I would say no fault to McCauley when the brawls continue. And it was so hard for Bayshard and D'Amico to separate O'Reilly and Holmgren, and that was protracted, and then that causes further battles.
Well, you don't know at the outset what starts things like this, Fred, in a hockey game. Players...
Frustration, for one, with the Bruins.
Yeah, of course, the first fight with O'Reilly and Holmgren was at 5:03. The game was still a game at that point. Was 1-0 Philadelphia. At the start of the game, you're not in the dressing room saying, now remember, these guys are tough. They are tough, but hockey is too great a sport not to play hockey. And this gets to the point of being a little ridiculous at some juncture. McCauley has had his hands full. I don't blame him for anything that's gone on tonight. He has had a tough first period to handle with lots of action, a lot of hard hitting in the corners, and a lot of battling along the boards. But we have the announcement now.
5 minutes fighting and a 5-minute match penalty.
5 minutes fighting Holmgren and a 5-minute match.
5 minutes fighting. For Boston, number 24, Terry O'Reilly. 2 minutes roughing, 5 minutes fighting. Number 26, Mike Milbury, 5 minutes fighting. Time of the penalties, 18 minutes, 54 seconds. Repeating, Holmgren, 5 minutes fighting, 5-minute match penalty.
Bridgman's in there, 5 minutes for fighting, and Milbury 5 minutes for fighting. O'Reilly 2 minutes for roughing and 5 for fighting. Now the only man kicked out of the game, according to that, is Holmgren. He got the match, but O'Reilly gets the extra 2 minutes, and you can understand why when you see the replay. He threw the first punch in there, so he gets the roughing that started it, plus a 5-minute penalty. Immediately, we have Bridgman serving his 5 minutes up there, and O'Reilly with 2.
Well, I think Milbury gets 5 minutes also for fighting, so that should cancel off as far as those two are concerned. Holmgren's 5-minute penalty for fighting and O'Reilly's 5 for fighting will cancel off. I'm not sure how that board reads with number 10 up there. Bridgman 5 minutes. I'll have to see what I couldn't quite hear what the Holmgren second penalty was. He gave him a match penalty.
5 for fighting and a 5-minute match, which threw him out of the game. The gesture at the time looked as though he was throwing O'Reilly out too.
Well, if Holmgren draws 3, if any player draws 3 5-minute major penalties in any one game, he's through for the game. But he may have given him 2 5-minute penalties, and that would automatically expel him for the rest of the game. But I think the 10 up there may be what has balanced it off. Holmgren may have gotten 2 5-minute penalties for fighting, which of course would be an automatic game suspension. And that's why Bridgman's would not balance off. So the Bruins could enjoy a man advantage here.
Here it is.
I think probably what happened here is that Holmgren was also fighting with Milbury. And so Holmgren would draw 5 for fighting with Milbury and 5 for O'Reilly. That would give him 3 5-minute penalties for the game. So that would be through for the game on a game penalty. And Bridgman gets a 5-minute major penalty for getting involved with Milbury. Now, when Milbury got involved with Bridgman, he probably didn't draw anything. So this is why it's 2 up there for O'Reilly and 5 for Bridgman. So the Bruins, after the next 2 minutes, will have a 3-minute period of a man advantage, which of course he will not be able to come out of the penalty box if the Bruins should score. So maybe they'll get something generated in the second period.
61 minutes in penalties so far in the first period. We are still in the first period. Philadelphia has a 5-0 lead, and right now both teams short-handed. As Evans is out with Hoyta, DuPont and Daly for Boston, Miller and Jonathan, Rick Smith and Sims. Both teams short a man. That's the way it'll be, barring further penalties, and a drive by Daly just missed. DuPont keeps it in. And Miller starts it out. Up for Jonathan. Coming up on DuPont. Back for Sims. Shot. And deflected, and a save by Stevenson. A good bid there by Sims. Well set up. Evans comes back. He has a goal. Now Dean hit by Jonathan. And with it, Miller. Rick Smith. Jonathan trying to move it in. Broken up by Daly and cleared away. Back for it, Sims and Dean. Played around to Rick Smith. 20 seconds left in the period. Rick Smith. Miller has it over the line. Looking for Jonathan. Blocked. Sims with a shot wide. Jonathan back for Smith. 9 seconds left. For Sims. Shot. Saves Stevenson as it deflects in on him. And with 4 seconds left to face off in the Philadelphia end. 58 seconds left on that 2-minute O'Reilly penalty, and as we said, he was not thrown out of the game. Holmgren was. For as Johnny Pearson sorted the whole thing out, 3 5-minute majors and then the match.
Well, I think that's how it is why Holmgren went to the dressing room and why we thought O'Reilly was going to be thrown out for the game. But it was the fact that he assessed a third 5-minute major penalty to Holmgren here in the first period. That's automatic game suspension.
Shot by Sims, and it struck Miller and went wide as the Bruins got the shot away, but the siren sounds and the period ends. And so at the end of the first period, the score is Philadelphia 5, Boston nothing. Tom Larson will be along with our first intermission in just a moment.
Disco Danny, king of the hustle. I see you chew a lot of gum.
Sure, Trident.
Why Trident?
It tastes great and it's sugarless. Gotta watch my step.
Well, you know, 4 out of 5 dentists surveyed recommend sugarless gum for their patients who chew gum. Any other reason?
Like the minty flavor?
Like, is it the only gum your mom lets you chew?
Are you kidding?
Trident sugarless gum. Your teeth never outgrow it.
What would you do if you won $1 million?
First, I'd paint.
Take care of people that took care of me for a long time.
I'd have a ball. I'd live like a queen.
We'll get myself a nice little cottage up in the lake someplace and just retire out there. Very young and early.
Well, I'd play a little more golf.
I'd go on my first honeymoon.
What would you do if you won $1 million? Play the new big money game with a new $1 million game every weekend. You might find out.
I just won $1 million on the big money game.
On Tuesday, there's a question on the ballot that's even more important than who our next politicians are. It's question number 1, and it's the way you can stop 100% from taxing you to death. Very simply, what it means is, are you against 100% valuation? A yes vote says yes, you're against it. Yes, you want your home or apartment taxed at a lower rate than a factory. Yes, you want to keep your property taxes from going up by hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year. To vote yes, you're against 100% and all its unfairness. Vote yes on question number 1.
Why put up with worn-out shocks?
Midas-size the car.
Midas-size it.
Midas-size it, soldier.
Midas-size your car and you'll never buy shocks for it again. Because at Midas, if anything ever goes wrong with a Lifeguard, SuperGuard, or Spring Guard shock, we'll replace it free as long as you own your car. Worn-out shocks? Don't compromise.
Midas-size.
The second and third period of the game the other night against the New York Islanders, probably the best periods that the Bruins have played this year. First period tonight, perhaps the worst, 5-0 Philadelphia at the end of the first 20 minutes. The goal scoring, Mel Bridgman at 2:38 for the Flyers, Paul Holmgren, Paul Evans, then Rick McLeish and Reg Leach, 5-0 Philadelphia at the end of the first period. Shots on goal, Philadelphia 10 and the Bruins with 8. And between now and the start of the second period this evening, we'll be featuring a mini one-on-one Bantam Division match. This will be between the teams from Needham and from Springfield. This will be the first quarterfinal match of our Bantam Division competition this year. Later still at the intermission, Fred and John will be back with some of their observations on this first period. And as always at this time, too, the Jordan Marsh Sports Test.
Sports Test brought to you by Jordan Marsh. Who beat out Bobby Hull for NHL Rookie of the Year and in what year? Who beat out Bobby Hull for NHL Rookie of the Year and in what year? The answer after this from Jordan Marsh.
Aramis, the extraordinary fragrance that communicates success, now has a free gift for you. This new symbol of success, the exclusive Aramis Club umbrella with its own case. Yours free with a $10 purchase of anything Aramis. From cologne to grooming aids to skincare. Aramis, the extraordinary fragrance for men.
Available at Jordan Marsh, the store with you in mind.
Who beat out Bobby Hull for NHL Rookie of the Year and in what year? Frank Mahavlich in the 1957-58 season. Tonight's question was submitted by Morris Goldstein, Stoneham, Massachusetts, who wins 2 tickets to a future Bruins home game in the Jordan Marsh Sports Test.
right, and if you'd like to submit a question to Sports Test of your own, send it to Sports Test, Box 380, Brighton, Mass. The zip is 02135. Be sure you include your name, address, most important, the correct answer to the question that you've submitted. We're at the end of the first period of tonight's game from Boston Garden. Philadelphia 5, Boston nothing. Needham meets Springfield. Their team 16 acres in quarterfinal phantom competition as TV 38 Sports presents mini one-on-one. The team from Needham, the shooter, is Steve Caputo. You see him here on your left. And the goaltender is Larry Bassett. And from 16 acres from Springfield, the Springfield area, Kevin Kervick is the shooter. The goaltender is Mike Mundorf. These two teams arrived at the quarterfinals with 4-2 wins. Needham beat Brockton 4-2, and Springfield, 16 acres, their win was over Attleboro 4-2.
I'd just like to mention this, Tom, while we have a moment. The officials in this competition are Peter Matson and Paul Flaherty, two fine officials, AHA registered officials.
Goaltenders getting set at both ends. The shooters are ready. The first shooter we're going to see is Steve Caputo, who is the shooter from Needham. Cruising in now on Mike Mundorf from 16 acres, team from Springfield. Held the shot, came all the way to the left and held it, and then tucked it in behind the goaltender. Needham takes a 1-0 lead. And this is Kevin Kervick, who is the shooter from 16 acres. Team out of the Springfield area. Misses. 2-0. Needham into a lead. Points are scored by the goaltender scoring, or if the opposition fails to score, whether it be a save or simply a missed shot. So here's Steve Caputo again, and he lost that one. Either lost it or had it poked away from him, but the point goes to 16 acres, their first point of this competition. We're in the quarterfinal round. 2-1 Needham. Shooter Kevin Kervick trying to tie it. No, nice save on a quick bang-bang play. The save by Larry Bassett for Needham, and they lead now 3-1. Could be a winner here if the shooter, Steve Caputo from Needham, can beat Mike Mundorf. Fires it high. He's got it. 4-1. Needham takes the win and will finish it up with this one last shot.
Okay, we'll see Mike Mundorf coming way out. He starts his approach as goaltender, and he's coming back in, but good shot in the top corner, and that's a winner.
Needham is the first club to advance into the semifinal round. They have won this one. It'll be either 5-1 or 4-2. It's just a matter of the final score now. Kevin Kervick coming in for the final shot of this competition in quarterfinal play. Blasted into the pads once again of Larry Bassett, the goaltender from Needham. Final score in this quarterfinal competition. Needham 5 and Springfield 1.
If you pick an airline by the food it serves, you'll have a hard time deciding. All airline food is pretty much the same. Eastern Airlines has to do more than serve good food. Reservations has to answer the phone politely. Ground crews hustle faster. Flight attendants do even more to take care of you. And we're doing it. For the second year in a row, we've flown almost 2 million more passengers than the year before. There are other airlines you could fly besides Eastern. That's why we have to earn our wings every day.
Our little cats from Lincoln Mercury are tough on competition. Starting with October 6th production, our Bobcat has more standard equipment than last year. And Bobcat's sticker price, as shown, is $38.40. Yet comparably equipped, it's $181 less than a $78. Great, Bobcat. Our Monarch has handsome styling, luxuriously equipped, and it's right engineered. Monarch's price, just $45.58. That's class, Monarch. You'll find big values at the sign of the little cat.
Wake up, Smitty. I got us a ride.
What kind of ride?
Chicks.
Chicks?
Yeah.
This is not my idea of seeing America.
Relax. I'll buy you a chicken salad sandwich.
You better buy me a cold beer. don't believe I bought all that stuff about the romance of the open road.
Well, I don't know, Smitty. You and that one chick seem to hit it off pretty good.
Very funny.
Oh, really? She asked me to give you this.
Don't just reach for a beer. Head for the mountains. Bush.
Well, it's the Bruins and the Flyers at Boston Garden tonight. Mostly the Flyers. At the end of the first period, Philadelphia 5, Boston nothing. Let's get back to Fred Cusick and John Pearson for a couple of minutes now for some of their thoughts on what's happened so far.
Flyers were certainly all over the Bruins for that 5-0 lead. But early in this second period, the Bruins, barring further penalties, will have 3 minutes. If they could pour a couple in, then they can get back in the game. If not, 5-0 is quite substantial.
Well, the Flyers usually are pretty good forecheckers, and they like to protect the lead fairly well. But Boston had some good scoring opportunities in the first period, so they've got an opportunity with about 3 minutes, as you mentioned, Fred, to get back in this hockey game. But the Flyers, who have not up till now been able to score a lot of goals, have certainly shown that they can do it here in the first period. The score was 3-0, actually. Rick McLeish got the goal that I'd like to have shown again, because it was a shorthanded goal. That can be very important. Picks a team up when you have a man in the penalty box and things look like scored against you and you turn out to get one. And here left wing, and the reason I point this out, look how strong a skater he is. He's got great mobility. He's got great balance, and this is the name of the game, really, is the good skaters will survive. The Bob Millers, and Rick McLeish is probably as good a skater as there is in the league. He's got a great acceleration, but watch the balance here in replay as he comes. Rattel has got a piece of him just as they cross the blue line, but look at how the balance. He's well set up. He continues to come through. Gilbert goes down, and he makes the play on the second effort into that far corner. It could have been 3-1 Philadelphia if the Bruins had been able to score on that power play. It turned out to be 4-0. And that was a real key goal, I think, for the Flyers here in the first period.
Well, too many negative moments for the Boston Bruins, as 5-0 indicates, but maybe you kind of expected the root to fall in sometime. They've been going in high gear. I tell you, it fell in one period completely from the goal right on out.
Well, Boston has been off to a great start, Fred, considering the injuries they've had to Brad Park, Redmond, Milbury. Cheevers has not played 1 minute so far this season. Gilbert has played up to now extremely well. He will admit that this was not a good period for him, but he was not the total contributor to the downfall here in the period. But this game is not over by a long shot. Boston's got to produce something in this man advantage situation.
We expect them to be going all out, and Tom Larson will be back with a summary of the first period as Bruins hockey continues in just a moment.
I've been in many tough fights. The fight for equal justice, the fight for better housing programs, the fight for full employment, and just the other day, the fight to save the ERA. The fights get tougher all the time, and there are so few leaders left. Now, I'm in my toughest fight of all. Because I'm proud of my progressive record, I ask for your support on Tuesday. Your support means a lot to me.
Ed Brook means a lot to us.
Start friendly. The Burks do it. And eggs. The Harrises do it.
French toast and sausage.
Bill Laverty does it.
Now these are friendly pancakes.
So come on, start your day off friendly too. Because right now, when you order selected breakfast specials at Friendly, we'll give you a free Friendly coffee mug. Come and get it.
You're in for a nice surprise. A free Friendly coffee mug. You're in for a treat.
Like your style, wherever you work, whatever you do, whatever it is that makes you, you.
At the First National Bank of Boston, we like your style. That's why we offer a whole range of banking services to match it. Visit the First and find out for yourself. See how our style of banking fits your style of life.
Here at the First, we like your style.
Want to know about the material in an Anderson Little Club 400 suit? Ask a tailor. Now this is fine material, the kind you usually see only in those expensive suits with the fancy labels. Now, when you can get a suit this good for $120 and free alterations, who needs fancy labels? Right, Roger?
George,
like I always say, when you shop at Anderson Little, you can look your best for less.
Hard to believe, but the Philadelphia Flyers were 0-2-1 in their last 3 games before coming into this one at Boston Garden tonight, and in fact had been shut out in 2 of their last 3 as well. 5 goals for the Flyers in the first period tonight. The first one by Mel Bridgman at 2 minutes and 36 seconds gave them a 1-0 lead, and then there were a bunch more from 12:48 on. Paul Holmgren had that one at 12:48 on a power play to make it 2-0. Paul Evans with his first National Hockey League goal at 13:55. That made it 3-0. Rick McLeish, a shorthanded score to make it 4-0. And Reg Leach, another power play thing for Philadelphia, 5-0. At the end of the first period. Philadelphia 10 shots on goal in that first period, and the Bruins with 8. In town tomorrow night now, the Montreal Canadiens will be down at Boston Garden. They're off to a slow start, but they are still the defending Stanley Cup champs. They can be expected to play just that way, probably tomorrow at the Garden. That is a 7 o'clock game, and we'll have it here on TV 38. Now for second period action, let's go back to Fred Cusick and John Pearson.
Well, the Bruins and the Flyers are making their way onto the ice for the start of the second period, and Jim Petty is gone into goal for the Boston Bruins, wearing number 31. He has played in a couple of games for the Bruins over the couple of past seasons, and he played in one so far this season in Minnesota against the North Stars in a 2-2 tie, and he played extremely well as Gilbert was hit on the collarbone with a shot in St. Louis. And so Jim Petty is now in goal for the Boston Bruins, wearing number 31. He's been the backup goaltender, 6 feet, 195 pounds, 25 years of age. He was a 73 draft pick in the 9th round, played with the Dayton Gems. And in 77, 78, he played in 31 games rather for Rochester, 3.35 goals against average. And he is back in goal as Gilbert had a very busy and tough first period here at the Boston Garden against the Philadelphia Flyers. And there's a sign from Natick. And we welcome all fans, hockey fans from the town of Natick. All set for second period action. Here's Fred Cusick.
Well, right at the start, both teams are shorthanded. In 54 seconds, O'Reilly's penalty will be up. He's in the penalty box with Milbury. He's serving a major. Bridgman is over there for, and Ben Wilson. He had the battle with Wensink. And we're looking for Wensink on the Boston bench. And I failed to see him. And I wonder what that situation is. Wensink is not on the bench. He had the fight with Wilson. We'll try and get a report. But right now, a 5-0 lead. He was cut. And that's why he's not in. He was cut in the battle with Wilson. Puck to Rattel over the line, breaking in, and just checked on the play at the last moment. And Philadelphia's Murray with it. Checked by Rattel. Rattel trying to drop it. Middleton gets it to Sims. The shot misses. At the right side, Doak. Doak fires. Cut by Stevenson. And in 24 seconds, the Bruins will have the man advantage, but they put on a good rush and play at the Philadelphia end here at the start of the second period.
Oh, here's the drive by Doak, a high one. Stevenson starting to go down, reached up with a catching glove. That looked like it was going over the net, but he chose to hold on for the faceoff.
It's a draw won by Rattel. He dropped it, but it went between the point men, Sims and Doak. Callender and Evans on for Philadelphia. And Rattel starts it back. Middleton. Now to Doak, up to Sims. Sims knocked down by Evans. And Murray with it, clearing it away. And it is not icing as Petty comes out, fires it around. It's a power play, Boston. Puck all the way around to Middleton. He breaks with Rattel. Man advantage, Boston. Middleton holding. Tried to drop it off, couldn't. And out comes Philadelphia Evans. Checked by Foster. With it, Cashman. Away from Barber. Up to Middleton. Ruled offside by D'Amico. 2:35 left on the rest of that 5-minute penalty on Bridgman. 18:41 left in the first period. And Don Cherry sends out McNabb with Jonathan and Cashman on the wings. Foster and Schmatz at the points. It is Clark and Barber, Daly, and DuPont. Petty's only game last year was in Philadelphia, and he lost it 6-2. This year, of course, his only game, Minnesota. He played one period in St. Louis, but in Minnesota he played the full game, and it was brilliant in the 2-2 tie. McCauley with a conference over at the penalty timekeeper, and he's indicating that that major is on Holmgren and not Bridgman, and they just want to change the number in the designation up there. Well, they put it on Leach serving the penalty. At any rate, a power play here, Boston. And a major penalty, so Boston will try and keep it going. McNabb can't handle a pass, and the puck driven back in on Petty. Clark and Barber, a couple of excellent penalty killers, and another one being McLeish, who scored a shorthanded goal. Barber intercepts the pass by Schmatz, and the puck is cleared by Philadelphia. Dwight Foster now trying to get away from Clark. Clark to Barber. He's right in. Broken up by Petty. And Clark now drops it back for control by Philadelphia. And DuPont snaps it away. Clark in again on Foster. He's raised havoc with him, and now it's off to Cashman. Out to Jonathan. Jonathan. Trouble working it in. When he does, Evans is there to clear it away. And the Bruins kind of ragged in this power play bid as Philadelphia checks them very tightly. And down is Evans to check Schmatz. They battle. And Evans gets it in front. A shot wide by McLeish. Out comes Jonathan. He can't get it, and Murray has it now. And over to Evans. Now Cashman. 1:07 left on that penalty, and the Bruins not even getting a shot as McLeish loses now to Schmatz, to McNabb. Puck played in wide of Stevenson. Off for LaPointe. Up to Evans and cleared out. Evans knocked down by Jonathan, but a pass intercepted by LaPointe and played to the Boston end. Jonathan trying to come out, and Clark there stops, but Miller now gets it off. Right side, Schmatz taps it in. Bruins hustle in, but Murray is there first. Murray, Jonathan, Miller has it. Miller in the corner, trying to drop it back. He's broken up. And out comes Clark. Clark over the line. A shot on Petty, a backhander and a save. The penalty almost up, and it is Philadelphia that's had the scoring chances. Middleton trying to make it move, and he lost control. And the puck is cleared away as the Bruins are all thumbs here in this situation. Trailing 5-0 in the second period. And Philadelphia survived that without Boston not getting a shot. Here's Miller over the line now. Going deep. Miller drops it. Marcotte can't get the shot away. And Philadelphia Leach comes right back. He has a goal. Long shot, save Petty on a hard drive by Leach. One-time 61-goal scorer. Back comes Miller. The Middleton broken up on the play, and Callender rushes. Callender moving right in, broken up by Petty. Evans around to Callender. Back on the other side to Evans. Evans drops it out to Dean. Shot blocked by O'Brien as Dean had that one right on. And Marcotte clears it out. Rick Smith now pops it in the center ice, but taking control is LaPointe. And the Flyers continue their domination. Checking the Bruins very closely, and the Bruins can't get it started. McLeish sweeps it in the corner. The Flyers with a commanding 5-0 lead. Out comes Miller. Driving it in. Stevenson blocking it for LaPointe. Rattel trying to keep it in, but Hoyter worked it right out. With it, Doak now to Rattel. Up for Sims. And the puck back in the Flyer zone. Hoyter there. Around the boards to McLeish, and he quickly plays it out of the zone. Sims to Rattel. Looking for Secord. He races in. Stevenson there, though, around the boards. Hoyter. Now to Bob Kelly. Around, stopped by Doak. Doak. Rattel. Shot. Save. Stevenson. Dropped out for Sims. Shot blocked by Kelly. And LaPointe on it. And he clears it center ice. A race. Doak and McLeish and Kelly into the corner. Kelly centers it. Sims clears it away. Break by Secord. Big break here. Over the line. Fires. Scores! Secord drives it home, and the Bruins get on the board with Secord's first National Hockey League goal.
A drive that Al Secord let go from just inside the Philadelphia blue line. Snuck between Stevenson's legs. Here's the drive now. Watch the opening right between the legs. That jet there. And he snuck it right through. And Boston is finally on the scoreboard. It comes at 6:11 of the second period. Al Secord, his first National Hockey League goal.
Al Secord. And that makes it 5-1. It was Boston's first shot in the period, I would say. And the Flyers come back as Clark gets it in. Losing to McNabb. McNabb coming out to O'Reilly. O'Reilly plays it in the corner. Jonathan in on Wilson. Hits him hard. McNabb in front. Pass knocked away, and Leach comes out with Barber. Offside. You're watching Boston Bruins hockey from Boston Garden.
In this world full of numbers, there are some out there that could make you a winner tonight. But only if you played the Daily Numbers game today. The Daily Numbers game from the Massachusetts State Lottery.
Well, a report on John Wensink. He's through for the night, will not be back. 12 stitches over the right eye. Suffered evidently when he was butted with the helmet of Wilson in that battle. Well, that's the report we get. And he will not be back for the remainder of this hockey game.
Puck at center ice, and Barber clears it in the Boston zone. 13 minutes left. And the puck bounces into the stands. Second period action will continue from the Garden in just a moment.
Introducing the new Ford Pinto for $79. A new design for a little American workhorse. New up here, new back here, new in here, and a parade of new design Pintos to choose from. The new Pinto ESS, a new cruising wagon, a new Pinto Squire, a new cruising sedan, and a new Pinto wagon. So join the band. See all these new design 79 Ford Pintos.
Jim Petty in the Boston goal, set for the faceoff to his left in the Boston zone. 7 minutes played, second period. Philadelphia leads it 5-1. Evans against Rattel. Shot right off the bat, and it just missed the net. Collender had it, well set up by Evans on the faceoff. Schmatz, Secord, and Rattel, the Boston line. Secord moves in, checking, Rattel in, getting it, trying to make his play. Murray, Secord battle, LaPointe back to get it, and clears it out. Milbury back for Boston. Up for Schmatz. Back for Doak. Milbury. Schmatz. Check. Doak on it. A long pass up, and Milbury starts it away to Rattel. They break over the line. Rattel looking for Milbury. He can't get it in front. Gets it in the corner. Milbury in deep. Plays it around the other side. And Dean there for Philadelphia. Rattel checks him. And he gets it around to LaPointe. Up the middle to Dean. Evans. And now to Murray. 5-1 Philadelphia. Schmatz. Rattel over the line. Breaking in. Rattel to Schmatz. He's in. Holding. Can't get the shot away. Oh, just had the man out. And McLeish clears it down all the way to Petty. Petty wheels it around the boards, and McLeish, good skater, in to get it. Keeps it. Is checked now, and Schmatz starts it out. Don't know what happened to Bobby just in front, as he seemed to be in. Daly clears it in now for Philadelphia. 11:18 left, second period. Petty trying to move it away. Kelly poked it ahead to Bridgman, and a face-off call. Bruins hockey is coming to you live from Boston Garden.
This Eastern Airlines jet has all the best equipment. Computers can virtually fly the plane by themselves. But I must admit, our competitors have great equipment, too. So how do we get you to pick Eastern? People make the difference. Our people have to be more courteous, more conscientious, have to get rid of the hassles. And they're doing it. For the second year in a row, we've flown almost 2 million more passengers than the year before. There are other airlines you could fly besides Eastern, so we have to earn our wings every day.
Good play by Bobby Schmatz here. Look at him go through 3 Philadelphia Flyers, break loose, but look at the tough luck. He hit the stick of Stevenson as he tried to fire the forehand drive into what was the open corner. It just managed to hit Stevenson's stick at the last minute.
Daly drives it in. The Bruins trying to work it out. Dennis O'Brien up the middle with Miller. Miller trying to break ahead. Gets the puck, lost it. Spill, penalty. DuPont going out. And Miller helped to draw that one. And DuPont will be going out. The Bruins will have a power play. With the score, Philadelphia 5 and Boston 1. Bruins hockey continues in just a moment.
Well, after 16 penalties in the first period, this is our first here in the second period. A lead pass. Bob Miller tried to pick it up between the Philadelphia Flyers defense. Watch number 6, DuPont, from that moment right there. And Miller goes down, and DuPont goes off for hooking at 9:02 as Miller made a desperate effort to grab the puck and break through the defense on a nice lead pass from Al Sims. Couldn't do it, and the Bruins have a power play.
McNabb, Cashman left, O'Reilly right with Milbury and Schmatz. And Clark gets the draw, and the puck is cleared by Jim Watson. Jim Watson, Ben Wilson on defense. Schmatz starts it away to McNabb. Broken up, covering Schmatz. Fed in. Stevenson blocks it. McNabb had it, couldn't hang on. Wilson drives it around the board. Schmatz against Clark. In for McNabb. McNabb in the corner. Holding. Back for Schmatz. Fires. It's deflected wide. Milbury. Misfire. And Schmatz has a break. Or rather, Clark against Schmatz. Clark very tricky. Over the line. Now elects to control it. With Philadelphia shorthanded. And with his magic, he keeps the puck. Gets it up to Barber. Barber swings, shoots. Petty saves as Clark set up Barber. And Petty made a big stop. Out comes O'Reilly. In for Milbury. Shot, score! Wayne Cashman. Milbury got it across to Wayne Cashman coming in off the left wing. And a power play goal by the Bruins captain. And the Bruins trail 5-2.
Well, great passing here by O'Reilly into Milbury. He carries it in all the way in, centers it in front. Here comes Cashman. And he just flipped that puck up into the top corner as Stevenson came across, trying to protect as much of the net as he could. But a great stop by Jim Petty down at the far end on a very good shot by Bill Barber, set up by Clark, and the Bruins came storming back. And Cashman from Milbury and O'Reilly, and it's 5-2 Flyers.
Puck over the line, and O'Brien pokes it in. Miller goes to the corner. Miller checked by Murray, trying to get it free. Middleton is in front if they can get it to him. Now Marcotte worked it free, lost it, battles again, and the Flyers clear it out. Boston coming back, stolen by McLeish. Fed in now, and goes in the corner to Callender. Callender centered it. Middleton broke it up. Bridgman keeps it in. For McLeish, save Petty! And he tries to clear it. It goes back to Murray. Shot, save Jim Petty! Penalty coming up here on Boston. Callender was knocked down as Marcotte clears. Interference. And Sims will go out. With the score, Philadelphia 5 and Boston 2. Bruins hockey continues in just a moment.
On Tuesday, there's a question on the ballot that's even more important than who our next politicians are. It's question number 1, and it's the way you can stop 100% from taxing you to death. Very simply, what it means is, are you against 100% valuation? A yes vote says yes, you're against it. Yes, you want your home or apartment taxed at a lower rate than a factory. Yes, you want to keep your property taxes from going up by hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year. To vote yes, you're against 100% and all its unfairness. Vote yes on question number 1.
This is TV 38, WSBK TV, Boston.
Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the TV 38 Bruins Network.
Well, here's the drive coming up. Petty with 2 good stops in a row here, but Al Sims gets an interference call. You'll see it coming up, I think, in a moment, right at the right-hand corner of your screen. He knocked the Flyer down, and he's off for interference at 11:04 of the second period.
A couple of power play goals by Philadelphia. They've got a man advantage now. Marcotte and Middleton, O'Brien and Milbury. A golf shot, and Middleton pokes it away. Races. Can't that. Was held off by Barber. Marcotte takes a heavy hit, and Bridgman starts it back. Clearing in wide of Petty. He pokes it in the corner. McLeish there. McLeish back to Daly. Daly a shot deflected over the net. McLeish with it. Callender, Bridgman out with him. Daly sneaking up, looking for a pass. And it's back. Goes to Daly. Off for McLeish. Quick shot. Jim Petty, the save. Saves again. And the face-off call. Jim Petty gets a hand. 1:20 left on the penalty to Al Sims.
Well, a big stop here. In fact, 2 big stops by Jim Petty. Here's Rick McLeish, and he can fire it. Watch Petty stand his ground. Here comes Callender, number 28, with a backhander. Petty down, and he stayed right there with that one, too. 2 big stops by Jim Petty, who had replaced Gilbert at the start of the second period. 8:16 left to play in the second period. Philadelphia 5, Boston 2.
Bridgman centering Callender and McLeish with Daly and Barber. Marcotte out there with Middleton. Now Smith and Doak in front of Jim Petty. The draw. Bridgman got it. Back to Barber. Fires. Deflects. Hit the post to the right of Petty. And with it, Callender right behind the net. Holding. Has to be challenged. Gets it back to Daly. Over to Barber. Marcotte has lost a stick. The drive goes wide by Daly. McLeish keeps it in. Marcotte in trouble, and the Bruins too as Daly shoots. This one deflected by Middleton, and the Bruins get a whistle and a break there with Marcotte playing without a stick. And 56 seconds left on the Sims penalty. 7:52 left in the second period. The goals by Boston here in the second period. Al Secord from Sims at 6:11. Cashman, a power play from Milbury and O'Reilly. 199th career goal by Wayne Cashman. That one. And the ones trailed by 3. The draw back to young Wilson. Shot off Marcotte. Deflects wide. Petty ties it up, and the face-off call to the left of Jim Petty.
Well, big Bob Daly, wearing number 2 for the Flyers, playing the right point. Got a tremendous shot, Fred. It's very heavy, and Petty had to be very quick on one of those drives to contain it. He can shoot him.
Clark on the face-off with Marcotte. Won by Philadelphia. To Wilson, to Clark. Clark to Barber. Barber shot blocked by Middleton, goes wide. Kept in by McLeish. Off for Leach. Tough angle shot. He missed. Almost hit McCauley. McCauley went down, avoiding it. Clark keeps it in. Clark maneuvering. Middleton checks him. Onto the boards. It's pried loose. McLeish. Leach over there. Back to Barber. Barber shoots. Save. Petty dropped at the right time. Clark keeps it in. Clark in the corner. 13 seconds left. He's looking for Wilson. To Leach. In front. Save. Petty, a beauty. Moved right across. And the Bruins clear it. A beauty on Leach by Jim Petty, who came right across on him. And Boston back at full strength. The applause for Petty. Here's a steal. In goes Schmatz. In. Save! Stevenson, another shot. Trickles wide. Schmatz right in. Could have really put them within range, but that one. And Stevenson made the stop, and Schmatz had another glittering opportunity.
Well, Bobby Schmatz is running in extremely tough luck. He has yet to score a goal in this 1978-79 season. He moves in here with his head up, tries to get Stevenson to commit himself, but he's not going to do it. And then, of course, he lost his leverage. He left the puck out in front. But sometimes with Bobby Schmatz, a good shot like he's got, 15 feet, if you're having a problem. We mentioned it in the game Thursday night against the Islanders. You close your eyes and drill it. Let the goaltender worry about it. But Bobby Schmatz has had a couple of glittering scoring opportunities. On the first one, he made a very fine play, but Stevenson managed to get his stick on it with a second effort. And in this one, he just wouldn't be committed, and Schmatz came right up to him and tried to flip it over top.
Boston trails 5-2. Milbury trying to rush. He's broken up. Back goes O'Brien in the forecheck Evans, and icing called on the play. Atlanta at Montreal. Atlanta undefeated, but now they trail Montreal. Ouls and Lafleur scoring for Montreal. Lysiak for Atlanta. Montreal 2, Atlanta 1 at the end of 1. And Labatten has scored for Detroit. They lead Pittsburgh 1-0 first period. And the Islanders lead Washington 1-0 on a goal by Bob Bourne first period. Here it's 5-2 Philadelphia. 5 goals by the Flyers in the first period.
And the Atlanta Flames are looking to tie a record held by the Montreal Canadiens in Montreal tonight. 14 games without a defeat at the start of the season. Atlanta has gone 13.
The Bruins had the face-off, but the shot stopped by Lapointe, and he clears it out. Milbury quickly to Jonathan. Right back. Off for Rattel. He can't get it. Milbury follows up, keeps it in. In front, Jonathan. Save by Stevenson. Puck loose. Rattel, a backhander. It goes wide. Rattel in the corner. Checked by Kelly. And they still battle. And the Flyers knock it out to center ice. Milbury there. Bruins getting chances here in the second period. Battling back with solid goaltending by Jim Petty. Jonathan in the check on the play against Murray. Rattel battling. Rattel trying to center it. But Philadelphia takes it. And Evans works it out. Evans to Kelly. Into the Boston end. Kelly, Milbury. And Kelly wraps him up. And the battle for it in the corner. Hoyda on Rattel. And the Bruins trying to work it out. Can't. Kelly keeps it in. A pass up and a score! A quick backhander. And Philadelphia goes in front as Mel Bridgman gets the goal.
Well, a little centering pass here by Bob Kelly. Right onto the stick of Bridgman, and he just turned it into the far corner off that far goal post. And the Flyers out in front 6-2 as Boston came storming into the Flyers' end. Jonathan had a great chance, but hit the side of the net on a drive that was going to the top corner. And Finally, the Flyers score with a drive by Bridgman on a pass from Kelly. It comes at 14:41 of the second period.
Bridgman second of the night. Bridgman, Holmgren, Evans, McLeish, and Leach scored in the first period. So a big goal there by Mel Bridgman as Flyers clear it out now. Doak getting it back to center ice, stopped by Daly. And DuPont moves it up to the Boston line. Jammed up, cleared away. McNabb with it. McNabb, Cashman. Cashman plays it in the corner. But back for it is Callender. Checked by McNabb. DuPont trying to move it out. A battle on the boards. McNabb to O'Reilly. O'Reilly checked by DuPont and McLeish. And it bounced around, and McLeish has it. He starts away. And an offside call. We're in the second period with the score. Philadelphia 6 and Boston 2.
Dodge is convenience. All your automotive needs under one roof. Products like imported Colt, domestic St. Regis, and Dodge trucks, plus parts and service. Your New England area Dodge dealer has it all.
Dodge is all of the above.
Shop and save at the one-stop shop, your New England area Dodge dealer today.
.428 left. Face-off outside the Boston line. Bob Miller is centering Dwight Foster and Al Secord against Leach, Clark, and Barber for Philadelphia. 6-2, the Flyers lead. Petty comes out of the net to clear it up the boards for Secord. Secord starts it back. He scored his first NHL goal. He's checked by Clark and got a little lesson there from Clark. A super checker, always has been, now in his 10th year in the NHL. Puck cleared down. No icing, they say. O'Brien has to play it. Almost lost it. Up the boards, Foster, Miller, center ice. Miller breaks over the line. Miller going wide. A quick shot saves Stevenson. A battle behind the net. And Barber, Secord. And the face-off call. From the Boston Garden, you're watching Boston Bruins hockey.
How come I always get the heavy end?
Because I always buy the beer.
Good point.
Oh, man, I don't know about you, but I needed this break. Have some popcorn.
Lovely view.
Yeah.
Don't just reach for a beer. Head for the mountains. Bush.
Play on. Doak clears it in. Marcotte after it, centers it, but it's skated off by DuPont. And DuPont fires it out, and a heavy hit, Jonathan, on DuPont. Oh, he flattened him in the corner. Middleton turns the net, starts it back, flashes center ice. Rick Middleton over the line, trying to go right through. He's knocked down by the two defensemen. Marcotte throws a hit on Hoyda, but Evans starts it back for Philadelphia. He scored his first NHL goal. Evans works it in with a shot wide of Petty. Jonathan takes a hit from Evans. Rick Smith moves it up. Middleton, Marcotte trying to break, but they lose it to Hoyda. And now Middleton hit by Hoyda. Jonathan knocked down by DuPont as DuPont got back in retaliation for the check. With the puck, Smith to Middleton. He breaks with Jonathan, and Marcotte 3-on-2. In for Marcotte. Scores! Dan Marcotte cut the corner. And wait a minute. No goal, says. Let's see what McCauley's calling here. Is it a goal or not? The light went on.
He's called it no goal. I think the puck hit the goalpost on the far side. Looked like it was going across. Somehow Stevenson may have grabbed it or deflected it wide of going over the goal line. He waved it off very quickly down here in the left corner. Here's the play, a beautiful play by Marcotte. Now watch the puck as he turns to the backhand, scoops it, hit the goalpost. In behind Stevenson. Somehow he got a piece of it or it hit the goalpost. Marcotte thought it was in. but the referee, John McCauley, is ruling it no goal.
Well, the light went on, and I went with the light. I couldn't see the puck, but I assumed it was behind Stevenson and over the line.
Well, right here, Marcotte puts his stick up in the air. I thought it was in behind Stevenson. Marcotte thought it was in, but it didn't go across the line, evidently. McCauley waved it off, and he was in good position to call the play. He was over at the side of the net, on the side where the puck came across the goal line, but Marcotte put his stick up in the air. I was sure it was in, but McCauley very quickly waved it off.
You're watching Boston Bruins hockey from Boston Garden.
Get New England Magazine, super sports coverage, plus pages of news and entertainment. Sunday in the Boston Sunday Globe.
Play on now with 2:30 left here in the period, and McLeish over the line. Just check on a sweep check by Sims. Cashman starts it back to O'Reilly. Lost it at the Philadelphia line. And the puck to Collender. Collender over the line. Broken up. Kept in by McLeish. Shot missed. Cashman starts it back. 6-2 the Flyers. Up to McNabb. McNabb trying to work it in. Broken up by McLeish. Back comes Sims for McNabb. McLeish broke it up. McNabb battling him. It goes to Bridgman, and Bridgman out to Collender. Collender, one man back. Shot save, Petty. Back comes Milbury. To be broken up by McLeish. McLeish tripped by Milbury. Hurt down on the ice. McLeish hurt on the play. He was cut. And another swarm of players now. And Bridgman starting to move in, and the Bruins started a line change. The Flyers sent out some extra players, and McLeish went down, appears to be cut. Milbury was checking him, and he's cut on the eye, near the left eye apparently.
May have gotten a stick as he tried to check. Here's Milbury, number 26. Oh, there's the stick. Hit him right in the face as Milbury was making an effort to get close to McLeish to move in to check him, and his stick came up and hit him in the face. He is being helped off the ice. The Flyers, realizing that he may have been seriously hurt, rushed off the bench with the trainer. The Bruins came off, and of course McCauley not wanting to have anything break out.
5-minute major to Milbury for injuring McLeish, and the Bruins will be shorthanded for 5 minutes.
Well, a high sticking penalty causing injury to the head or face of an opposing player carries an automatic 5-minute major penalty, so that if McCauley was calling a minor infraction, he would be forced into making it a 5-minute major penalty. It's automatic. It's in the book. The Bruins are arguing the point. It seemed to me from the replay, although I did not see it clearly at the outset, that it was accidental. But McCauley did have his hand up. I believe he was going to call, possibly was going to call, a 2-minute high sticking infraction against Milbury. We don't know for sure, but he's given him a 5-minute major, and if he was going to call a 2-minute minor, it would be automatically 5. Well, here's in replay. Now watch the play coming up. This is McLeish moving for the puck. He's trying to find it. Here's Milbury coming with the play to move in to check him, and his stick caught him in the face, or I would assume it's the face, somewhere in that area. He went down and off to the dressing room as Marcotte talks to McCauley.
And the Bruins, of course, realize the impact of a 5-minute major here. 6-2 lead for Philadelphia. 1:39 left in the second period. And, of course, with a major, he can't come back until he serves the full 5 minutes. Detroit and Pittsburgh are tied 2-2 second period. The Islanders lead Washington 2-0 second period. And Montreal in front of Atlanta 2-1 in the second period. Here, the Bruins battle back with Jim Petty taking over in the goal for Gilbert, after Philadelphia scored 5 goals in the first period. Bruins coming back with 2, but then Bridgman from Kelly at 14:41, and it is a 6-2 lead for the Flyers. Coming up between periods, Tom Larson will have the sports update and a feature on Bob McCammon, the new coach of the Philadelphia Flyers from the Maine Mariners. Then Johnny Pearson and I will be back with an analysis of the second period of tonight's game. It's all during our second intermission, so stay tuned as the Bruins still argue with John McCauley, Don Cherry calling a conference, but Milbury has a 5-minute major, and McLeish has gone to the dressing room. Already wincing in a fight with Wilson. 12-stitch cut over the eye, over the right eye, and that happened in the first period, evidently butted by Wilson's helmet in that fight. Wensink out for the rest. A disconsolate Mike Milbury sits in the box. We're waiting for the face-off to the right of Jim Petty, who has been a bright note in this second period, beaten only by the Bridgman goal and never had a chance on that one, and he's kicked out some beauties. The Flyers now with the power play. Clark, Barber, Leach, Daly, and Wilson. Boston, Rattel, Schmatz, Sims, and O'Brien. Back to Wilson. Shots, save by Jim Petty, and the clear by Schmatz. Wilson, a 19-year-old out of junior hockey, one of the first picks by Philadelphia. Leach flips it in. Petty hangs on, clears it, but Clark is there. Check. And O'Brien can't move it out. Clark back for Daly. Shot and a save by Petty, and he hangs on a face-off to the left of the goaltender as Bob Daly, 6'5", about 210 pounds, can sting him from the blue line, and he had plenty of authority on that one.
And there's all kinds of shots in the National Hockey League. Some players have that heavy, good, solid shot. As we look at that youngster, he's only 19 years of age. He will be 20 in December. 6'3", 215 pounds. He played last year in Kingston. 18 goals, 58 assists, 76 points. Good, strong defenseman.
Draw to Daly. Daly clears it around. 1:05 left. Only break the Bruins get is the period will end in a minute. But the Flyers keep it in. Back to Leach. He drills. What a stop by Jim Petty on Reg Leach. As fine a bit of reaction in the goal as you want to see. Great glove reaction.
And I think that shot hit something on the way in. Petty was going for it in the center of the net. Then all of a sudden, here's Reggie Leach. Now watch the double reaction by Petty. At this moment, look at him. He's stopping it. Now all of a sudden he realizes, hey, it's going the other way. And he reaches out with that glove. And what a big stop. He was off balance, so it made it even tougher. But a great second reaction, what looked like a second reaction by Jim Petty on that drive by Reg Leach.
55 seconds left in the period. Got a lot of time on the penalty to Milbury. And Dean works it in. Still has it. Wheeling around. Back for Wilson. Wilson intercepted by O'Brien. O'Brien moves it out of the zone. It's knocked back in. O'Brien trying to clear it. Can't. Daly keeps it in. Pass stop. Bounces. Callender. Shot. Blocked. And goes to center ice. Marcotte and Miller out there now. Miller checking Wilson. Puck goes to Dean. Now O'Brien. Back for Sims. 15 seconds left. Up it goes to Miller. Miller to Marcotte. Trying to move in. And Dean knocks Marcotte down. And back comes Bridgman. Clearing it in. Sims drives it up. And that's it as Daly got a backhander away. 3:21 left on that major penalty to Mike Milbury as Petty holds the fort. After 2 periods of play, the score, Philadelphia 6 and Boston 2. Stay tuned for our second intermission after these messages.
Me about property taxes. Now they tell me to vote for classification. Well, if I do, the tax on my house goes up. And that's going to tax the pumps, the lifts, the tools, everything twice as much. What are those politicians trying to pull? Classification won't cut government spending. It'll just let them play around with our taxes. I'm not letting them do anything to my taxes but cut them. I'm voting no on question 1.
you're the one. You better watch your fries, or they may disappear before your very eyes.
McDonald's world-famous fries are so delicious, nobody can resist them. So watch out.
Keep your eyes on your fries, they're too hard to resist. Keep your eyes on your fries, because no fry tastes like this at McDonald's.
Keep your eyes on your fries.
We do it all for you.
We do it all for you. We do it all for you.
I know Ed King, and he's a taxpayer just like you. He understands how much the elderly, the poor, and the handicapped need property tax relief. Proposition 13 wasn't easy in California. I was attacked by the press, the politician, and the special interest. The same people attacking Ed King. Now even Governor Brown admits I was right. Democrat Ed King will do the same for you in Massachusetts, or my name isn't Howard Jarvis.
Ed King. It's going to take a strong Democrat to manage this state.
Every business has a best customer. This is TWA's best coach customer, the Full Fare Flyer. And on our airline, he flies Full Fare Coach. This is the Full Fare line, sir. It features separate check-in at major airports, round-trip check-in so you can skip the line coming back.
Your round-trip boarding passes, sir.
And special treatment in the air as well. TWA's Full Fare Coach. It's a class by itself for our best customer. TWA.
After 2 periods tonight, the Philadelphia Flyers 6 and the Bruins 2. And now Sports Update brought to you by Pastine, who will wine you and dine you. In college football, the top 4 national teams gained victories today. Top-ranked Oklahoma continued unbeaten with a 28-7 victory over Colorado in a game between 2 unbeaten. Second-ranked Penn State gave 5th-ranked Maryland their first loss, score there 27-3. In Southeastern action, 3rd-ranked Alabama beat Mississippi State 35-14. Number 4, Nebraska overwhelmed Kansas 63-21 as the Cornhuskers set a new team offense record of 799 yards in that game. Southern California tailback Charles White moved past O.J. Simpson on the Southern California all-time rushing list as the number 6 Trojans got by a troublesome Stanford club 13-7. And number 9, UCLA had a tough time with Pac-10 rival Oregon, but the Bruins came out on top 23-21. We'll check the New England college football scores after this message.
The taste of our fine California wine needs no introduction. The look of our new label does. Pastine.
And in today's New England college football, Boston College continued their losing streak. Villanova rushed for 408 yards to whip the Eagles 28-16. The loss puts Boston College's record now at 0-6, their worst start since 1951. Now a look at the other New England football scores for the day. And Fred Cusick and John Pearson will be along before the start of tonight's 3rd period with some of their comments on the game so far. Right now, we're at the end of 2 periods. It's Philadelphia 6 and Boston 2. Conversation now with the new coach of the Flyers about what to expect from the club, once known as the Broad Street Bullies.
Bob McCammon, not only did you make it to the National Hockey League, but you also made it with a team which has a great tradition, an expansion club, the first expansion club to win a Stanley Cup, and then the Flyers repeated the next year when they eliminated the Buffalo Sabres. And it must be quite a thrill not only to make it to the NHL, but to come to such a fine organization.
Well, definitely, Pete. I think, you know, for a young coach, I don't think you could ask for a better situation. Although, as you mentioned, there is a great winning tradition here, and there is a lot of pride, both in the seats and in the locker room. So there's going to be a lot expected of the hockey team, and I hope we can live up to expectations.
Did you think that you would make it so fast? You jumped from the International League to the American League, and you won the Calder Cup with the Maine Mariners last year, and now in the National Hockey League, 3 jumps in such a short period of time.
Well, I don't think, Pete, coaches really think of their future. I think they think of the present, and I think every coach is the same. You do the best job you can at the time, and you always have that in the back of your mind that hopefully you'll get a chance in the National Hockey League. But I was just fortunate, I guess, that I got in with a good organization and had a winning season last year.
How about earning the respect of players? In the minor leagues, everyone's trying to make it to the major leagues, and once they made it to the majors and have established themselves, maybe they don't have to show as much respect to a coach. Maybe they have so much self-confidence. Did you find that a problem at all?
Well, to date, Pete, I've been very happy with the response of the players. They're professional people. They have the same thoughts as I do. They want to win, I want to win, and so there's no problems. As I mentioned, they're professional. If they weren't professional, like in the International League and the American League, you have players that maybe aren't going anywhere. They're a motivating problem. But here, everybody wants to win, and they have the same goal in mind.
You have someone who motivates the players who is on the ice, Bobby Clark, and he must be a great help to you.
Right. Bobby Clark is probably, in my experience in sports, probably the finest athlete I've seen. And I mean by that, not talent alone, but because of the way he works on the ice and off the ice. He's a dedicated, totally dedicated to the Flyers, and I think he's the one that makes it go on the ice for us.
How about the effect on your family of all the moving around and the uphill struggle to make it to the National Hockey League?
Well, they're the ones that pay the price, Pete. You know, you move, we've had 3 moves now, or 2 in the last 2 years, and that's very in high school now, but you find kids adjust, and in the long run, I think it'll be a good experience for them.
Bob, being in a new job, do you find it difficult to come home and forget about hockey?
Very much so, Pete. I think, you know, when you're in a game like hockey, there's so much emotion involved in the game. I think any coach, I think it's impossible to come home and just forget about the hockey team and forget about the results of the previous game.
You at all nervous about your new job?
Well, I think so, Pete, but I think, you know, every coach is nervous about his position and worried about the success of the hockey team. I think that's natural. I think if you don't worry, you're in trouble.
You succeeded someone who was very successful here in Philadelphia, Fred Shero, who has now gone on to the New York Rangers. How do you feel about living up to someone else's record of the past, someone who was successful, or just taking over for someone like that?
Well, I gave that a lot of thought, and I think, Pete, you know, Freddie was a great coach. He still is a great coach. He was one of the first men to use what they call a system. He's had great success here with the Flyers. He won 2 Stanley Cups, you know. The team was always up in first place or second place. They always did well in the playoffs. But the last couple of years, the hockey team, because of age mostly, started to slip. And I think that, along with the fact that Freddie did quit the Philadelphia Flyers, has made my job somewhat easier, especially with the players.
I'm Boom Boom Jeff Rayon, and I think no one should play hockey without a good face mask. I know about masks because I know about sticks, elbows, pucks, and what they can do to your eyes, your nose, and your teeth. That's why you should have one of the best masks money can buy, a Cooper mask. Cooper made great equipment when I played the game. They still do. I just wish they had Cooper masks when I was a kid. I could have been beautiful.
How do you top the great value of the Mazda RX-7 sports car? With another great value, introducing the '79 Mazda GLC. A great little car with great mileage and more. It's versatile and now has a more powerful 4-cylinder engine. The Mazda GLC, just $38.95.
The more you look, the more you like.
Zenith announces a breakthrough. System 3. System 3. The best Zenith ever. The best ever. A brand new picture tube for the sharpest Zenith picture ever. Sharpest picture. And an all-new modular chassis. All new. Designed to be the best performing, the most reliable color TV in Zenith history. The most reliable. Zenith. System 3. System 3. It's the best Zenith ever.
Join TV 38 this Sunday for an afternoon of fine drama. First at noon, Roy Scheider leads an elite group of New York City detectives in the action-packed film The 7-Ups. Followed at 2 o'clock with Cloris Leachman's exceptional performance in the movie A Girl Named Suter. Then at 4 o'clock, Spencer Tracy portrays the last of the big-time politicians in the fine drama The Last Hurrah. Finally, at 7 o'clock, tune in for exciting hockey action as the Bruins take on the Stanley Cup winners, the Montreal Canadiens. That is the lineup for this Sunday, right here on TV 38.
We are at the end of 2 periods of tonight's game from Boston Garden between the Bruins and the Flyers. It's Philadelphia 6 and Boston 2. With some of their thoughts